Yan, went with me to the bank. I also give you 200,000 yuan. The fat man felt that they could suspect. Do not rush like that, Uncle Chung. The police are still working on this, answered Yang. Jan, this is a small amount for me. I will feel guilty in front of you if I do not do it. Do you think I'm deceiving you? The fat man said. Of course not. Where did you think about this? If you wanted to deceive me, you would say that the jade is useless and would buy it from me at a low price. It would be much easier. I never had doubts about you, said Yang. This is a relief for me. Hear this from you. But you should not worry, Jan. If in the end it is not found, I will pay you the price that we discussed, the fat man said. Uncle Chung, tomorrow, when you go to the market to me, can I go with you? I asked Yang. Of course. Do you want to experience your luck again? True, but I'm also interested in this. No problem. But then I will pay for you. Thank you, but I want to pay on my own, so it will motivate me. Okay, it sounds convincing. The next day, 3 friends, together with the fat man, went to the stones market. A huge room is spacious, where the stones are stacked in a heap, and everyone is looking for a stone for themselves. Yes, I hope to collect a whole bag of nephrites, but it does not look noun. Most stones are in the center or at the bottom of the heap. Of course, this is a bad idea, to put all the stones and choose from the very center. I will arouse suspicions if I do it. Jan Ming used his X-ray vision and has already scanned most of the heaps. See you later, his friend shouted, and he left with his Uncle Chung. The price of stones is 1.000 yuan per 1 kilogram. I have 10,000 yuan for 10 kilograms. Delled Jan Ming. Even if there is no jade, it will be good luck. Find a bag of high-quality agates. The red-haired guy in small glasses raised the stone and began to examine it carefully, hoping to find a precious stone. Oh my god. My luck evaporates before our eyes. I began to worry about Jan Ming. His girlfriend did not understand why he behaves like that. The red-haired guy threw this stone aside, and Jan Ming immediately noticed this. Hey, there are so many stones. Do you definitely climb here? Another hunter for stones asked. Jan Ming ran through the hall and took this stone. What kind of idiot? This stone was thrown back by my master. Another hunter for stones laughed. Master, a dumbass. The cost of this stone is hundreds of thousands. I thought Yang when I took this stone. I also found several high-quality agates. Of course, I am ordinary stones too to avoid suspicion. He put the bag on the scales. It turned out only 11.5 kilograms, with it 11.500 yuan. Yan, what will you do with stones? Will you open them here or take them with you? Asked the fat man. And what will you do, Uncle Chung? I asked John. I will send my stones to the city, he answered. When I send my stones with yours. The next day they only woke up, and in the courtyard their conversation was already heard. Linda, get up. We must have time for an airplane. Sonia, get up. You can take a nap later on the plane, said Jan. Well, I already get up, she answered cheerfully. Jan was a little surprised that she was sleeping very naked. Is your luggage already packed? It needs to be double checked, I asked Yang from Linda while she was in her soul. Using his X-ray vision, he heard the thoughts of his girlfriend. It seemed to him that in her thoughts she spoke to someone she could think of schizophrenia. After some time, they were in the city of Soganjiang, remind. It was to this city that they sent their precious stones. First of all, they went to the realtor agency of Thagria in order to find the necessary housing. Which of you is a future tenant? I am a student at the University of Sijaja, and my girlfriend is not local, so she needs to rent a house nearby, said Yang. Now I'll look. A second. Professor Lowe, I brought potential tenants to you, said an agency employee. Okay, let me show you the surroundings. Professor Lowe said. Jan Ming recognized him. Professor Lowe, what a small world. You, the same young man from a bookstore. Professor Lowe was surprised. Ho, do you still remember me? Asked Yan. Son, what brought you to this city? So are you potential as a tenant? Asked the professor. I entered the institute in this city, and the tenants and my girlfriend. The fat lady grunted for herself. Nose. It was difficult to make out. Wow, you have a beautiful girl, noticed a professor. Hey, you will rent or not? The agency's employee was indignant. Well, we are already familiar, so we will not cause you problems, the professor said. The fat employee of the agency ran back to the office, grunt something under his breath. Come on, I will show you your apartment. So you, Mr. Law, are teaching at the University of Sijaja? I asked John Ming. Right, I am lectures there, he answered. So we came. The professor opened the doors and let the guys into the apartment. What a beauty. She's like a new one. Here in general no one lived before? Asked Yang. This house was prepared for my son. I never thought that he would do this. Okay, the past remains in the past, the professor said. This is a wonderful place. Professor Lowe, Let's conclude a lease agreement, suggested by Jan Min. Oh, forget about the agreement. You can live here for free. I hope that you will take care of this place. The professor simply waved his hand.
Oh, do not think about it too much. I have no other motives, the professor said.
I just wanted to find someone reliable to look after this house. But let me clarify something. If you make a mess in the house, I will immediately drive you out, the professor said. Ho ho, Professor Lowe. You can be sure that this will not happen. Jan reassured him. It's strange. Such a wonderful house, so why didn't the son live here? Linda carefully examined the huge photograph of her son with some girl. Oh, just take off this photo. I don't think they will return here, the professor said. Okay, I'll do it later. Thanks to the great housing, I thanked young Ming. The keys are here, you will see you again, the professor said. Linda, what have you thought about? Jan asked her. When they were left alone. I think I saw them before, Linda answered with surprise, showing the photo. True, I definitely saw them before, she thought. They look very familiar to me, but I can't remember them. Okay, do not take it in mind, let's take this photo, she suggested. Well, lay out things, I went to my home. Yan Min said, Of course, I will wait for you, Linda answered. Should I call Mary? Yang thought when I ended up on the street in the middle of a night city. Oh, I have to forget about it, not to mention the curse. Besides, will Mary agree with Linda? And will Linda agree with Marie? Yang continued to think. The next day, Jan decided to visit his old friend, the old one in the sense of real. It's great to see you, but what brought you here? Asked an old friend. Mr. Fong, I just returned from Yunnan province and took with me local products for you. I said Yang. Thank you for that, what you remember about me, son. The old man thanked him. At that moment, the phone rang, just when Yang talked with the old man. Yan, where are you? Wasn't you have to come to my house today? I just arrived at me. Come to my father's company. It was his friend. Thank you, I understand. I will soon, I answered Yang. But the old man clearly thought about something. He did not like that he would leave so soon. Your friend is waiting for you? Asked the old man. Yes, a good friend, answered Jian Ming. Have you tried the purchase at random in Yunnan? Asked the old man. Yes, I was curious, Ian answered. You must be very careful. Recently someone is paying close attention to this business. Well, do not take it in mind. You did not invest much, so they will not disturb you, the old man said. Mr. Fong, what are you talking about? What does this mean? Surprised by Jian Ming. I heard that some people are engaged in theft of nephritis, but you have nothing good in your hands, so do not worry, the old man answered. What the hell? My stone was stolen. Maybe Mr. Fong is involved in this? No, it cannot be. He was released from prison recently, and from that moment he was at home all the time, Yang thought. Well, after meeting with the old man, he went to meet his friend, and in the car he saw a pretty girl. This girl seems to me a friend if I saw her before. He carefully studied the pretty beauty. This is him. What a small world. Did he really recognize me? She thought. Please, sit down. I am coming out soon. He politely invited the girl to sit down. Please accept my offer. I feel good for health. He clearly recognized this girl. Thank you. The beauty decided to look at him. After a moment, the train stopped and at that moment sat down on a chair. Here, it is not clear what happened. Or by inertia, he pushed the car and he buried his nose in her chest. Or he just wanted to do it. Sorry, I'm sorry. The train stopped so suddenly. He apologized. It's okay. Everything is in order, she answered. This scene looks a little familiar. I am sure that I saw her before, but I can't remember where I saw her. Dear viewers and subscribers, and you already remembered where he saw this girl. If you write in the comments, Jian Ming wanted to start communication. Sorry, this is my stop. Goodbye, the girl answered and headed for the exit. For now, he answered. Also, a bunch of people who also went to the exit suddenly appeared. Jian Ming finally came to his friend, in the company of his father. Why are you so late? My father is at the meeting now. You have to wait a bit. At that moment, they knocked on the door, and a beautiful girl entered. Mr. Chung is now in the office? She asked. Her purple bra fell out of a blouse. Mr. Chung? Why do you need him? Asked the guy. Probably this is another of my father's mistresses, he thought. I have a meeting with him. I have not met anyone outside, so she came in. The beauty answered politely. Father, where are you? Here is a visitor in your office. A visitor? Who is he? Mr. Chung was surprised. How do I know? This woman, maybe she is your mistress, he answered. Ha ha ha. Do I really look like a lover? She laughed. Binwell, you said stupidity. Yang laughed. What? What? He was surprised. I have been familiar with her for a long time, so I do not think that she is your father's mistress, said Jian Ming. Charlotte, What brought you here? Asked Jan. I came to buy something, of course, heh, she answered. The last time you said that you participate in the international exchange program, how did everything go? I asked Jan. Oh, everything went well. I returned only yesterday, she answered. My grandfather will soon have a birthday, so that I came here to buy a gift for him. She added, yes. What mistake I just made, he thought. After some time, the door opened and Mr. Chung came. Oh, Miss Xiao. Glad to see you, he said. Hello, Mr. Chung, she greeted. I came to check how my order goes. She jumped from the couch and came closer to him. Well, Miss Xiao, I have to upset you and ask for forgiveness, the fat man said. I received a jade that met your requirements, but by failure he was stolen. The fat man continued to invent different nonsense. It is clear that do not worry about it. It's just that my grandfather is interested in such things, so I wanted to give him a loan as a sign of my reverence. In any case, it does not matter much for him, she immediately said. Now I'm saying goodbye. Call me if you have good news, she said, sparkling with her big breasts and lush hips. Uncle Chung, what does Charlotte do? How does she buy such expensive things? Asked Yang. Strange. She told me that she was working as a teacher. But how is the teacher to master the price of jade in hundreds of thousands of yuan? He thought. I do not know. I think you know, and not more than me. If your jade had not been stolen, you could sell it to her at a good price, the fat man muttered. By the way, Yan, your stones have already arrived. Do you want my factory to process them, or want to look at it yourself? Mr. Chugan asked. I want to see. It can be exciting, Yanmin said joyfully. Look, this is a real jade. There were loud exclamations at the factory. Again you come across a jade. Incredible luck. Yan admired the onlookers. Surprisingly, this jade is even better than the previous one. Mr. Chung was surprised. God, why are you so lucky? Ben was surprised. Ha ha ha, I'm a really lucky guy, Yanmin said joyfully. I approached about 2 million yuan, about 2 million. Much more than the previous one, Mr. Chung said with a smart look. True, it looks like a hidden blessing. Yanming was delighted. Do not worry. This incident with the theft will not happen again. I will immediately send jade to the bank. In addition, if the police cannot find a stone, I compensate you for everything. The fat man Chong said. My master. You returned. What master I am? He was surprised. In the evening after a long working day, Linda joyfully greeted him. I found out about this from the TV. Linda watched some kind of film, and my master sounded there. Come on, this is my master. You can kill me with your curse at any time. How do you like it here? Are you already used to this place? He picked up in his arms and carried it into the bedroom. I could not sleep well without you. Jan, you can stay today at night, she asked. I'm afraid not. If I stay at night, my mother will be angry. Just wait until I go through the introductory commission at the institute. Are you afraid to be alone? Yang said, No, do not worry. I'm used to being alone. In addition, I am a master of curses. Of course I'm not afraid, she answered. Bad girl, I will punish you, Ian said mysteriously. Jan, come on, punish me. Come on, punish me. Let me undress. She began to speak playfully. The city has already plunged into night darkness. Professor Loe, I came to Linda, so I will be here for a while, said Yang. Welcome. Betty, I will have a conversation with Jan, so you can start working on invitation cards of the first, the professor said. Invitation postcards? Professor Lowell, do you have some kind of holiday? Is your son already returned? Asked Yang. If he had just returned. Listen, 6 years ago, on the eve of his wedding, my son of his bride suddenly disappeared, the professor said. Gone? I was surprised by Jan. Unfortunately, I was killed by grief. But life is still continuing, right? The professor answered. Invitation cards? Ho ho. They are for my birthday next month. I did not plan to celebrate him, but several of my friends and students insisted that I had to arrange a party. Come on my birthday if you have time. Some professors from the university will also come. This is a good chance for you to establish yourself. The professor said, and I won't interfere with you. Is I still so young and inexperienced? I asked Yang. It's not a problem. My adopted daughter and my students will come there. There will be a lot of young people. The professor said, thank you very much. I will definitely come. Jan Min thanked him. Yan, why don't you answer my calls? Are you with Linda now? Well, remember, my father promised me to buy a car. Let's go with me tomorrow after her. Bin wrote, dragged. I'm at home now, Ian answered. Yan, are you online now? At that moment, another message came from Mary. Jan clearly did not want to communicate with her now, so he turned on the status of invisible, so that it was not visible that he was on the network. The next day, Yang met with Bin, already almost noon, now most likely a break. Let's go for the car after dinner, Bin suggested. I'll tell you a secret. I recently talked with a burning chip, Bin said cheerfully. Yes, imagine. Yes, even in naked video chat. Bin seemed to soar in the air from such a story. Lord Jesus, said Yan. Come on, now I will show you her photo in the profile, Bin suggested. This is Jessica Chow. I was surprised by Jan Ming when I saw a photograph of a friend on a computer. Only because she stinted at me in Sue, I remembered Jan Ming, and her phrase sounded in his memory. You do not do so hard, but still get good grades for exams. I envy this. She was the best student in my class. Are you serious about the fact that she undressed in the video chat with you? Jan asked. Yes. I told her that my name is Jan Ming. Bin laughed. Oh, you are a moron. I was indignant at Yang. Not hot. She said that her name is Cece. I recorded everything on the video, except this flash drive. Like my apology, reassured him Bin. Jan took a flash drive, and a brilliant idea was born in his head. Jessica Chow, you will end, he thought. The next day, the Bin was already with the car. Most likely they decided to skip the process of buying the car. Jan, let's take you to school so that you submit a statement to college. A good boy, Ian answered. You earned hundreds of thousands of yuan from Jade. Why don't you buy a car for yourself? Bin asked. Why should I spend money on a car? I have you as a driver, answered John. When they approached the school, Jan saw an old acquaintance and immediately called him. Hey, Chard. 2 weeks have passed since the moment we saw for the last time. How are your business? Asked Jan. Damn it. What's wrong with this Yan? Chard thought. How did your entrance exam go? You will go to Tsinghua or Beijing University without any problems, right? Asked Yan. Damn me, of course I had to go to Tsinghua or the University of Beijing. I never thought that he thought in such a situation. I think that I could not even enter the universities of the third level. I only go to the United School University SI Jaja. What a pity. I was surprised. Haha. What you sow and you will reap. You are a great example of this. I thought Yang. Is it suitable for me? What about you going to go? I asked Chard. I'm going to the University of Sijaja. And Bin, like you, applied to the United School University SI Jaja. Great. It turns out the three of us can continue to go to the same school. Chard was delighted. Well, now I have to go to class, I answered Yang. Damn it, this bastard will continue to be my classmate. I thought he. It's just wonderful that you could not go to Beijing. I prepared well to take revenge on you. The closer to me, the easier it will be to do, Yang thought. When they went up to the classroom, Bin said, Yan, Marie is sitting in the classroom. Why don't you come to her and talk? And don't tell me that you no longer love her. At this time, Marie noticed them and decided to approach them better and say hello, since she had not seen him for a long time. Shut up. This is not so. In fact, I did not have time to finish the phrase how Maria came up and called him. Jan understood everything. He heard that she came up and was already very close right behind him. From this, he was very embarrassed. Jan, I heard you went to Yunnan when you returned. Why didn't you contact me? I was looking for you. Told Mary. I returned 2 weeks ago. Jan picked up the words and thought on the go. What to answer him? Let me remind you, after this is a young and beautiful girl did a manual work in the cinema. I was busy, so I did not check the messages in the messenger, Ian answered. Sit down, Mary, Bin suggested. How did you find out that I wrote to you in the messenger? I was surprised by Marie. Bin used my account and told me this. I tried to come up with something. Okay, I'm not complaining. By the way, what university did you choose for admission? She asked. Marie, did you really not know this? Yang was very surprised when you heard this question from her. Like Bin, I submitted documents to the University of Sitai, said Yang. But I will go to a united school with this university. Ho ho, Bin added. This is wonderful. Then we will be classmates, Mary said joyfully. I certainly apologize. The impression is that they have one university for the whole city. Yan, our teacher organizes a class meeting. Will you come? Suddenly a card appeared from somewhere. If Marie goes, then I will go too. I am the elder of the class. Of course I will go. Then I will go too. All three answered. The contribution from all participants is 20 yuan per person, Chard immediately said. Yang handed him 100 yuan and said, What kind of three are for us? Let them leave the change to themselves. Hey, Yan, did you really get a great fortune? Chard asked with a smile. Speaking about the condition, who can compare with your family? Jan spread his hands. Ha 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 ha. But I have to get out before this condition for the next state, Chard answered. Will it be released? I will be surprised if the organization of your family lasts until then, Ian thought mysteriously. By the way, I have a car. You don't need to let you down anywhere? We can call in a supermarket, said Chard. Oh, thanks, but Bin also has a car. We will go on her. Yang grabbed Maria by the hand and they headed for the exit. They got into the car, and already when they were driving, experienced an awkward sensation that they were sitting nearby. No one said a word. There was complete silence in the car. In the silence of the car, a beating of the heart was heard. It is difficult to make out who had a heart beating stronger. John could not stand it, and grabbed Marie by the hand. Hey, you are too. Do not be such bores. Do not behave like strangers to each other. You can't just ignore me. Bin turned and said it indignantly. Look at the road. We need to buy products. First of all, we'll go to the supermarket. At that moment, a phone call from Jan. Where are you, dear? This message came from Linda. It is a little incomprehensible. It is most likely the difficulties of translation from the original, since both Michael and Yang turned to him. But so as not to get confused, I will call it Yang further. Something is wrong? I was surprised by Marie when I saw that he had a message. Ian was in a very uncomfortable position. He was about to answer something, but Bin saved him. We arrived. Ready for purchases? He asked. Walking around the shops, they experienced great awkwardness, because a long time ago they missed each other and did not know where to start communication. I think some of you were in this situation too. Let's take this snack. It should be tasty, suggested by Yang. Okay, I just wanted to say about it. Marie joyfully answered. It seems to me that their communication began to slowly tie. Interesting, look at them. They have the same tastes, and look at yourself. All I love you do not like. How can we live together? Was a couple of buyers. These views finally met. Judging by the background, you yourself or you understand everything. Let me help you. It is not clear here. I decided to push the cart, or her. I think you understand that he had been bored with her for a long time. As soon as he snuggled up to Mary, the phone vibrated for. Very successfully called Stupid Bin. Yang was indignant. He took out the phone and was very surprised as his friend Linda called. Hi, why are you calling? He stepped a little to the side and quietly asked this. Jan, I started menstruation. You can please buy me hygiene gaskets. I can't go out. Now I use toilet paper. It kills me, she said. Okay. Of course I will bring them to you. I answered Jan. He clearly felt embarrassed in this situation. Something happened? Why is he so nervous? Responding to a bin of Bina. Marked Marie. Nothing. Bin just asked where we... Yang picked up words to somehow get out of the situation. The phone rang again. Where are you going to you? We are in the suite area. I realize now. What the hell, Bin? It seems that I screwed up. I thought Jan. Maria, what are you wrong? You somehow look strange, he asked. Why are you lying to me? She asked in surprise. Well, in fact, the first call was not from Bin. He answered a little awkward. From whom then? She asked immediately. From my sister. Ian's sisters answered a little awkwardly. Why then did you hide it from me, if it was your sister? Asked Marie. And I asked us about one delicate favor and I was shy. I continued to come up with Yang. What else for a favor? Asked Marie. She asked me to buy her hygienic gaskets. Jan felt very awkward, but he had no choice. Wow, but if so, this is a completely different matter. You had to tell me the truth, I would not laugh at you, she said. Wait for Bin here, and I'll go choose the gaskets. She sparkled with her underwear and went to the next row of the store. It turns out interestingly, Jan thought. The number 1 girl chooses the gaskets for the girl number 2. If she finds out the truth, then I have a lid. Jan, where is Marie? Bin finally came. She got angry at you, Yang said with a serious expression. He got angry with me? Because of what? Bin was surprised. Don't worry, I will settle everything. Ian calmly answered. Cool. You really will do it? As expected from you. Dam was delighted. Marie has already agreed with your polygamy? Now you fulfilled your lustful dream? Bin asked cheerfully. What other polygamy? She asked. At this moment it is already very close. We talked about the plot of one online manga. Yes, her main character is just a sexual maniac, the guys answered. From that moment there are no more unhealthy fantasies, Marie asked. The city plunged into night silence. After some time, Yang came to Linda. Here are your gaskets. Hold it, he said. Oh, thank you very much. Now I want you to take me to the bath, she asked her affectionately. Without problems, you behave like a child today. Yang laughed and grabbed her in his arms. The next day, 3 guys were going to go to a meeting of classmates. I did not immediately recognize Maria in this form. I was already used to her miniskirt. The vile Chard chatted aside with their new friends. It seems to me that they start something again. But what do you think? Write in the comments. Jianmin, hello. Come here. They called him. What did Chard Wong think this time? Ian thought. A large number of classmates were located on several buses, and together went outside the city, to a beautiful and picturesque place. This place was called the Arnold Reservoir. Jan took the opportunity to get a fishing rod and decided to sit in silence on the shore of a beautiful reservoir. But he did not enjoy silence for long. Jan, do you play cards? We need another player, Chard called him. Of course, I answered Jan. Show me what you planned. How can it be, Jan? You won 2 games in a row. The guys were surprised. Well, here. We lost again. Yes, you're very lucky today. Fatal's in the boys. You already guessed how I constantly wins? Of course he uses his X-ray vision and sees the cards that they hold in his arms. How about making bets? The fat man asked. I agree. What do you think about it? He supported his second friend, whose name we do not know. Well, will everything be in order? I'm not sure if we should arrange gambling. I tried as much as possible to portray surprise. Everything is fine. We are already adults. In addition, we play just for fun, said a vile Chard. Yes. Yan, even Chard says, are you with us or not? Or are you afraid to lose money? All 3 decided it to beat. These are naive idiots. Well, then okay. How much will we make bets? I asked Yan Ming joyfully. Did you really decide to play with me for money? You yourself asked for it, I thought, Yang. Let's put every yuan every round, suggested a fat man. 10 yuan? Well, I answered Yan. Damn, you couldn't put it anymore, he thought. Hee. All men were born gambling when you start playing. You can't stop so easily, they thought. Oh, you are just amazing, Jan. They continued to encourage him. I am just lucky, Yang answered merrily. You let me win 200 yuan in 5 minutes. Do you think I don't know that you are doing it on purpose? I decided to play along with them. The bets are very small. It becomes bored. The fat man began to be indignant. Maybe let's raise the rate to 100 yuan. Do you agree? He suggested his friend to feel the sweetness of victory and then inflict a complete defeat, thought Jan. 100 yuan is not enough. How about 1,000 yuan? Jan decided to still raise the bets. He caught our bait. Chard's accomplices were already happy how brilliant was their plan. In any case, they thought so at that time. Okay, since you insist, let's do it in your opinion. They pretended to be the initiator of raising bets. Jan, what are you doing here with the boys here? At that moment, Maria came with Bin. Do you play gambling? She was surprised. Her surprise was so strong that it turned into indignation. It was just for fun, answered Jan. Chard Wong, are you the head of the class of class? How could you take part in gambling? Maria looked at him outrageously. Marie, we came to have fun today. Calm down, we are just having fun. True, you do not raise a hype, Chard said. Okay, but Jan, stop when there will be enough. A naive girl thinks that it is so easy to stop when the bet's rising. Of course, don't worry, Ian answered. Ho ho! I have good cards in my arms. Yan Ming, you screwed up. Chard studied the cards that came into his hand. At that moment, he began to wink at his assistant. The assistant turned out to be the same fat man who offered to raise bets. I think you realize that they decided to dilute Yana for money. Hey, my cards are better than yours. I thought Jan, and activated his X-ray vision. I put 1,000, he suggested. I rise to 5,000, suggested a fat man. Here the promotion of our hero has already begun with money. 5.000? Yan, are you in business or not? Asked Chard. He was also ready to maintain a bet, or even raise it. I accept, I am in case. I confirmed Yang. Yang, what are you doing? Mary was surprised. I raise yes 10,000, said Chard, and raised the bet. Immediately, he was immediately supported by the fat man. I am also in business. Jan, stop. You don't think that this is too much? Maria was already very nervous because the bet increased more and more. I accept. I am in business, confirmed by Jan. Jan, you might think again. I also think that the bet is very high. But if you are sure, then you can leave as much as you want, said Chard. Keep your performance. I thought Yang. I'm not a gambling player. He must have been up to something. He to the side and reassured her a little. I raised to 50,000 yuan. At that moment, Chard felt like the king of the party. The common bank amounted to about 200,000 yuan. Now this game becomes very interesting. So that you understand, all the rates were in dollars, and yuan was drawn in their hands. Jan, will you really put so much? Marie was very surprised and could not believe that the boys started such a game. The bank more than 200,000 yuan should be enough, I said Yang. I better stop the growth of the bet, otherwise Chard Wong can throw something desperate. Well, he thought. Okay, let's open. I think they have been waiting for this for a long time. Look at their faces. They already feel the taste of victory. 8, 9, and 10. Sorry guys, my cards are more, Chard joyfully declared and opened her cards. Here is shit. I did not expect that you will have good cards. Yes, you went. You are clearly crazy. His accomplices continued to play the performance. Yan, why don't you show your cards? Why are you waiting for? Be a man and accept your fate. Yes, do not be a coward, they said. Oh, I'm sorry. It seems my cards are better. 9, 10, and a jack. Of course they are better. Jan opened its cards. Here the hell! You're Streetmore. Are you really trying to deceive? The fat man was indignant. Ho, ho. You really play well, Jan Ming. Chard already realized that he made a mistake and lost. We will go to dine the first. They said goodbye. Damn it. I just lost to him 160,000 yuan, all my pocket money for the summer vacation, Chard thought. I really do not care about these 200,000 yuan, but I wanted to see your frustrated face, Ian thought. John Min, what is happening here? Maria decided to intervene in the conversation and remind of her presence. Have you not seen? It is obvious that Chard Wong and his 2 accomplices wanted to substitute me. But I beat them, said Yang. Yan, I know. You and Chard Wong never stop quarreling with each other, said Marie. She understood this was all because of her. But this should not happen again, she asked. Now he knows that I and you. Marie did not finish his phrase. And he does not make any sense to do something dirty again, she said. What is wrong with you and me? Asked Jan, as if he himself does not understand. You are a fool. Now I am your girlfriend. Chard Wong has no chance. He doesn't need to bother you more. Maria answered. Okay, but if he does not contact me, then I will not provoke him, Yang suggested. That's glorious, Mary agreed. Maria, look there. And I pointed to a beautiful tree that grew near them. Cici Chu and Bin Chung. When did they manage to meet? Was marked Marie. See, this is the name, and not those in the frame. Yang, along with Maria, approached them a little, for decency. Yang poking a little to draw attention to. Bin and his girlfriend jumped up. Damn! Jan, you scared me to death! You can't approach so quietly! Bin was indignant, but I didn't do anything. Hey, and you're well done. When did you manage to meet? Asked Yang. The girl did not know what to answer. We still do not meet. Bin took him aside and quietly said this so that the girls would not hear them. He. Congratulations, Bin. She is a great choice. We are brother, Marie and Sai are also good friends. This makes everything convenient for us to relax together, said Jan. Cici, are you really with the Bin? Asked Marie. No, Marie, you are mistaken about us. I just turned my ankle and he massaged it, Cici answered. Do not miss your chance, Bin. That is how we look and began to communicate. Do you think I don't know what you think about? Said Yan. Yan, what do you think about Cici Chu? Bin asked when they were in the apartment in the evening. She is a good girl, she will be a good wife, and a mother. Yan seriously answered. Ideally, this is my type of girl. Bin agreed. Huh. And I already thought that you were only interested in sexy girls. I was surprised by Jan. At that moment, the phone rang in the room. Hello? Hello, sir. Do you need massage services? I promise you to feel great. He sounded a female voice in a telephone tube. Thanks to me. Ian hung up. What was they talked about? Bin was surprised. Offered intimate services. Ian answered. After a moment, the phone rang again. Jan picked up the phone. Hello, who is it? He asked. Good evening, sir. Do you need intimate services? We have a student and many other beauties of your choice. They offered him. No need. I call me more, I answered Yang. Damn, I just want to sleep well, Jan said with a tortured look. And you can just disconnect the phone, Bin suggested. You can imagine their surprise when, in just a few seconds, the phone rang again. Yes, you want a comma. I already said I do not need your slutty services. Now you fucking satisfied? Do you know what? I have a gentle and beautiful girl. Fuck me your intimate services. He was already furious. Jan, it turned out that this was calling Mary. You can imagine her surprise when their challenge was connected. Marie, I was surprised by Yang, and at that time, some strange silhouette with horns appeared in the corridor. Have you already noticed it? Well, I missed you. And I wanted to call. What did you just talk about? At that time she was only in her underwear, which beautifully emphasized the beauty of her young body. Sorry, Marie. I did not know that it was you. Before that, there were 2 annoying phone calls. Jan apologized for his rude words. Everything is in order, but no longer swear. What are you doing now? Asked Marie. Ho. Just talked with Bin about his girlfriend Cece. I'm sure the Cece already talked to you about Bina, said Jan. At that moment, the door of the room opened. Maybe. I went to take a shower. Bye. Marie said goodbye to him, and an incomprehensible face appeared from behind the door. Hello, everyone. Now we will return a little to the names of our heroes, since I found manga where their names are not changed. John Min remains unchanged, Bin Chung. He is Zhang Bin. Marie also remains unchanged. Chard Vogn, now Van Jitao, if I am not mistaken, then his name was in the initial chapters. Si Chu, now Zhao Si, Linda Lime. There will be Lan Lin. Something like this. Now let's go back to our story. Brother. Cece said something Marie about me? Asked Bin. No, when we talked, Marie said that Cece was taking a shower, said John Ming. At that time, an incomprehensible black silhouette was already behind their door. It's good that I did not ask young Mina to order prostitutes if I did it, and Cece would know about it. It would be the end, Bin thought. John Ming drew attention to what was happening with Bin. He closed his eyes and mentally apologized to the Cece. A moment. Marie said that now she would go to the shower. John Min has come a brilliant idea. Interesting. I'll only look out of steady. Only once, he thought, and activated his X-ray vision. This is a shining snow-white body. Just wonderful. Damn. Yes, this is Zhao Si. John Ming was very surprised. Oh, what did I do? She's my daughter, in law. And I just saw her naked. It's not good, right? I thought Jan Ming. Using his X-ray vision, he also looked into the next room, who was here with us. This is... surprised by Jan Ming. What the hell? Is he really so fearless? Van Jitao actually caused prostitutes for himself. Was surprised by John Ming. Bin, do you have a camera? Asked Jan. Camera? Of course, she was in my bag. Bin answered. I will go out for a while, said Yang, while Bin continued to fantasize on the Cece. Jan Ming went outside and hid in the bushes of Van Jitao. Heh, he didn't even cover the curtains. I thought Yang. Who is this in the dark? Jan Ming saw the very strange black silhouette that staggered under the windows. He is mistaken next to the room of Maria and Sis. This freak. What is he doing there? Is he really peeping? He was surprised by Jan Ming. Yes, it can't be that I will give someone to peep from my girlfriend. You met your end, faced with me tonight. Jan Ming resolutely jumped out from behind the bushes. Hey! Damn it! Wait a second! And Jan Min slapped him on the shoulder. Ooh, growing menacingly, the monster. Is it Chen Afu? I was surprised by Jan Ming. You are a dull moron. You think it will work? Pretend to be a ghost in front of me. I was surprised by Jan Ming. Wait, something is wrong. This guy did not come here for peeping. If it was so much he needed for this. If he wasn't for peeping here, thought Jan Ming. So he wants to scare Marie. This freak is definitely looking for death? Yan Ming thought in surprise. Ha, what about one interesting idea? At that moment, Jan Ming updated something. Hey, you, in a mask, followed me. Jan Ming grabbed him by the veil and dragged him behind him. Boo-boo, muttered the freak in a mask. Do not even dare to give up the chance that I give you. If you continue to behave like that, and I will end you. I strictly said Jan Ming. Here is the hell. Is Ian Ming not afraid of ghosts? He thought. Start, said Jan Ming, and placed the ghost directly opposite the window. Guess whom? What to start? What are you talking about? The moron was surprised in the costume of the ghost. I do not understand what you mean. The moron was surprised in the costume of the ghost. You can't seriously understand this for what you came here earlier. This is now, said Jan Ming. Go, and scare people. I understand. Do not lose time. And Jan Ming pushed him with a juicy kick in the ass. The ghost approached the window and began to make incomprehensible but frightening sounds. What kind of sound is this? Van Zitao was surprised, and began to look around to understand where he heard this terrible sound. Here is Larimo. What kind of crap? When he looked out the window, he bounced on his sofa. Why are you screaming? What is wrong? Is this because you can't continue sex anymore? And you decided to come up with such an excuse? The girl was surprised. Yes, this is a ghost. The ghost outside the window. Van Zitao was very scared. He almost fainted. The next day he was very gloomy. He obviously did not get enough sleep. His accomplices could not understand what was happening to him. What is wrong with Van Jitao today? Bin was surprised. Maybe he was upset because he lost to the cards yesterday. I answered Yan Ming. After the past at night, I saw how Van Jitao used his little toilet. He was so frightened that he turned into impotent, thought John. Van Jitao. Oh, Van Jitao. Be good and stay the same not courageous person. Now you are impotent, so why are you still fighting for a girl with me? First, deal with you, I thought Yang. A little more time passed, and already in August, friends gathered in a restaurant. To celebrate my son Yang Mina to the University of Shijie, everyone should eat a lot and drink, his father said. The University of Shijie, right? Not bad, but still worse than universities in Beijing, said Cousina John Mina, named John Li. If yours were tall enough, then he could go to the city. But the solution is not so tall, you have no choice, said Cousina John Li. Its science is enough to go to Beijing or Tsinghua, but he did not want it, his father added. How many points do you have? I am curious in what universities of Beijing you could go, Cousina John Li said. Not so many. Only 697 points. Ian Ming calmly answered. I don't know a lot or a little, but the cousin was very surprised. I heard that the questions this year were easier, so the average score is higher than usual. So most likely this result will not be considered so high in Beijing. She tried to get out. 697 points. This is higher than 60 points in my result last year. But maybe so, but the fact that Jian Ming entered the University of Ciji already makes me and Aunt very satisfied, father said. Yanmin, your cousin is still such a childhood itself, so do not keep evil on it, he reassured his father. A couple of days later, Jian Ming stood at a bus stop and waited for his transport. At that moment, he remembered the words of his father. Jian Min, visit Jian Li. What new students need to know about? He remembered the words of his father, who constantly grumbled. I would never go to her, he thought. Oh, Jian Ming, you still arrived. Come in, sit down. Yang Li upstairs with your girlfriend, get up to see her. Jian Ming climbed the second floor and heard the laughter of the girls when he came closer to her. Didn't we agree to talk in private? Why does she have another guest right now? Her friend was surprised. When Jian Ming opened the door, he saw two pretty girls, Jian Li and her friend. They both sat on her bed. Sorry for the invasion. I greeted John Ming. John Ming, that you are not like you can enter the girl's room in this way. Cousina was indignant. Lily, this is your cousin about which you spoke about. He is actually pretty beautiful, not as nasty as you said. Her friend said. Sunji, do not pay attention to him, Cousina said. He was fastened with God. I am 80% sure that he is still a virgin, Sunji said. Interestingly, so is she a whore? Why did my cousin contacted someone like her, although maybe she was the same? Thought Jian Ming. What did you stare at? Sunji said. Her breast size. G? Maybe A. Or maybe even more. From school, thought Jian Ming. And what? Is it really not allowed to watch? Do you think someone will believe in your innocence? Yan Ming answered sharply. Innocence? Sunji was surprised. From such courage, she even got up and came closer. I didn't put on my underwear today. Do you want to see? She asked John Mina. She clearly felt like a queen. Jian Min, how can you talk to my friend like that? How can you be such a pervert? Am I a pervert? Are you the only one who is friends with a girlfriend? Who knows? You can even be the same as she still dare to tell me something like that. He thought. You need advice from me about when you go to the university or not, cousin asked indignantly. Yes, start distributing your advice. He was clearly bored that he even began to poke his nose, pleases that he at least turned away from the girls. Yan Min, firstly, your attitude is absolutely wrong. How you're going to build relationships with classmates if you behave like this is a school? Cousina said. Yes, I understood. Ian calmly answered Yang. When you start, in your class, most likely there will be many children from wealthy families. So you should try very hard to establish a good relationship with them. She continued to speak. And today I will let you gain the experience of a lifestyle of a higher class about rich people. So, when you meet your classmates, you will not worry and not disgrace, said the cousin. Will you really lead me somewhere? I was surprised by Jian Ming. True, I and Sunji have already planned everything. Soon we are going to the party of our friends and you will come with us, Cousina said. My friend Sunji does not meet anyone, so you will temporarily play the role of her boyfriend, she added. You dare to talk to me when you actually ask me for a favor? Not to mention your condescending tone when you said that you would take me to gain the experience of a higher class life. I was surprised by Jian Ming. Sunji but stood in front of him and bent a little back. Jian Ming in the smallest detail saw the beauty of her magnificent chest. But this huge chest is so attractive. Jan Ming froze a little in place and forgot what he wanted to say. Well, tell me something that you're waiting for. Kuzina pulled him out of her vulgar fantasies. I have one question. Can a temporary guy use the same privileges as an ordinary guy? Asked Jan Ming. What kind of privileges do you want from me? Everything is fine for now. Sunji approached him closely and ran a finger across his neck and chin. Hehe, you yourself said that, agreed Yang. Yanmin, who did you imagine yourself? His cousin was indignant. At least Sunji does not speak so sharply as Jan Li does, although she definitely loves to flirt, thought Jan Ming. There are many people who want to get Sunji. The man who invited us today, vice president of Xianfeng Groups. Just be a good boy and act like our defense when we will be there. Do not create any problems, she asked. Then do not ask for my help. Here I am. What is, said John Min. Damn, again, this is a Heilong group, and he is a vice president? It turns out in the future he will be a footman Van Jitao, thought John Ming. Lily, your cousin just has such a character. Sunji laughed. What else character? Hey, now we will change clothes. Now come out of here. Kuzina was indignant. After 30 minutes, 2 incredibly beautiful girls appeared from the room. Is it really the same girls what before? Why couldn't you find out so much? Asked Sunji. Of course not. Jan Ming was very surprised how they changed for the better. Sunji. This girl is so mysterious. My intuition suggests that she is a person who can eat me entirely. John Ming plunged into his fantasies again. A pervert. Be serious and do not behave naturally to betray us, continued to say a cousin in a serious tone. It looks like this party will not be the same and simple. Only someone like Jan Li. Someone who thinks that she is always right. Maybe a girlfriend with a girl like her. Interesting. I can't see him through and through. You said that he is a pervert and a lecher, but it seems to me that this is not so. From the same case, over the past 5 years, he's the only man who did not seem disgusting to me. Sunji thought. Very soon, they were in a nightclub. Sorry to interrupt, the club employee arrived 3 guests. Sunji, you finally, I'm very happy about meeting here, said the guy with glasses. This is the vice president of the Xianfeng Groups, named Gu Tinchan. Vice President Gu, what do you mean? We arrived in time, why are you saying it as if we were late? Jan Li asked in a strict voice. Vice President Gu, I brought Sunji here, only because you bought me a branded handbag. You should not blame me if you cannot get Sunji because of your haste. I did not mean that. I said this way only because I was really waiting for a meeting with our beautiful lady. Four Eyes decided to rectify the situation. This is my boyfriend, Jan Ming. Sunji. Introduced him. Her boyfriend? The vice president of Gu was surprised. True. John Ming. Let me introduce you to you. This is Gu Tianshan. He is the vice president of the Xianfeng Groups. He is only 29 years old, but it can already be said that he has endless prospects, said Sunji. Well, hello. Jan Min held out his hand to him in order to exchange handshake. Did you decide to ignore me? I tried to show you some respect, but you completely rejected it. Then do not blame yourself for the fact that I will not respect you, thought Jan Ming. Dear Sunji, it seems that Mr. Gu is very hostile to me, Jan Ming quietly told her. Mr. Yang, you are mistaken. Please sit down. Mr. Gu invited them at the table. Mr. Yang, who do you work? Asked a rich, bespectacled man. I am unemployed. I could calmly answer Yan Ming. He had nothing to hide, so he felt relaxed. My cousin began to study at the university this year. How can he be as successful as you? Said John Li. I may have brought you together, but in fact it was for the vice president of Gu. Now I gave a hint that in the truth of Sunji alone. Why should I tell you a guy Sunji and deceive everyone? Yan Li thought. I noticed that Mr. Yana had the same surname as mine, so I called him in a joke. I added Jan Li. She specifically spoils everything. I thought John Ming and frowned a little. Since you are doing this, I will play by my own rules, I thought Jan Ming, and loudly put a glass of wine on the table. Enough, cousin, I know. You look from top to bottom at people like me. He began to portray already drunk. But Sunji and I sincerely love each other, he added. She still did not have time to say anything, so why are you baked? And hugged her shoulders tightly. All 3 were stunned by this behavior. They obviously did not expect this. 2 rich bastards even looked at each other. I will go to the restroom, the President Hua suggested. The president of the jewelry company Hua. Me too. We go together, supported his proposal. He watched them. He realized that rich bastards began to panic. Sunji is so good. So why did she choose such a guy? Was it a spectacle? Don't worry, brother, he reassured his friend. Do not forget, we still have a backup plan. And his friend showed a bag with incomprehensible white powder. I think you already guessed according to what scheme they decided to act. Wall the girls and then have sex with them. What's happened? Are you afraid? I asked his friend. I'm afraid. What should I be afraid of? Do you think I'm afraid of this jerk? Said the Four Eyes, who wanted sex. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Sunji family, his friend Hua said. And Four Eyes, I somehow did not think about it. Are all women not the same? While you are pleasing to her in bed, she is not able to refuse you. The bespectacled man gained courage and grabbed a bag of drugs from his hands. Hey, this is true. Then I congratulate you on the formation of the future son-in-law of the Sun family. He said his friend Hua. Ha ha ha. Relax, the elder brother of Hua. When this day comes, I will not forget your kindness. Four Eyes laughed. Stupid baby. Now I have material for blackmail in the future. You're all in the palm of your hand, Hua thought. Why is there such a quiet atmosphere here? Four Eyes returned to the hall and offered to drink wine. Sunji, how about drinking a little red wine? He suggested and poured her a glass. I would not drink it in your place, said Ming. He perfectly understood that it could be a setup. Why do you say that? Sunji was surprised. Is it just a glass of red wine? What may be wrong with him? Well, how do you want... Did you just ignore my advice? Well, I think we lost you. I thought Ming. And do not say that I did not warn you if something happens to you later. He thought. Sunji put an empty glass on the table and the bespectacled man smiled pleasantly. Let's finish here. I ordered a large karaoke room with a floor above. Let's go up, sing and relax, suggested by Mr. Hua. It looks like the drug has already begun to act. I wonder how much time it should have passed to the full effect. Watching Sunji, they climbed in karaoke and began to sing. In Korea are very common karaoke. Oh, they are so terrible. I thought Ming, and clicked a lighter in order to light it. If you want to smoke, go out and smoke. You are trying to kill our lungs. We sing right now and smoke strangles us. Cousin was indignant. No one had anything against you, the only one who betrayed this meaning. Well, I'll just conquer the restroom so as not to hear these screams, thought Ming. At this time, Sunji felt that something began to happen to her. It is strange. Why am I so excited? She thought. Sunji, something is wrong with you? There is a room for relaxing. Why don't you go there and relax a bit? The bespectacled man was clearly waiting for this moment. I urgently need to go to the restroom, she said and ran out of the room. She jumped into the restroom, slammed the door, sit down, and take off her panties. How it began. She was so excited, could not restrain herself, that he began to caress herself. Sunji, didn't you go too far? She didn't notice me here. I was surprised by Ming, who smoked near the window. Damn it! She went to the restroom. She did not do it in order to appease herself, right? If so, it turns out our plan failed, said the Four Eyes. Heh. Brother, you can't wait for you anymore? Under the effect of this drug, the girl is not able to take care of herself. She will not be able to control her body, even being in a sober state, said the scoundrel Hua. What happens to me today? I'm so hot. I really want to find a man to have sex with me, she thought. No, there are no good men in the world. Everyone gets closer to me only because of my family, she thought with a little disappointment. But why I'm thinking about him now? Of course, at that moment she thought about our handsome man Ming. Hua, older brother. Are you sure that Sunji will not bring me to me? The bespectacled man was scared. Do you really understand what is happening? Said the scoundrel Hua. The Sun family is a modern noble family. If something happens that can shake, do you really think that they will decide to report this? Said the scoundrel Hua. Moreover, if we take a few piquant photos, do you still have reasons to be afraid of this? Said the scoundrel Hua. The girl was very excited, and continued to caress herself with her fingers. Yanmin, do it tougher, she whispered. Is your imaginary partner really me? I would not say that I have such a dominant character. Ming was very surprised. Or maybe I heard her incorrectly. Maybe it just coincided that I was her type, said Ming. Ming, she continued to repeat. I do not pay attention to what is happening around her. At that moment, a phone call rang out. Damn, why didn't I change this ringtone? Or didn't I put it on a vibro? Ming almost dropped the phone when he rang. At that moment, not my scene occurred. They both stood and looked at each other, then expiring later. She was from excitement, and he was from the fact that he disturbed her. The phone call did not disturb her in any way. At that moment, she continued to satisfy herself. Ming was even more surprised. Does she not see me at all? Is she really blind? Ming was even more surprised. Ming, She continued to repeat, "Kiss me. Right now." I think you understand that she was very excited and did not control herself. I had previously warned you not to drink wine, but you did not listen to me. I am not responsible for what will happen next, said Yeonmin. After these words, passionate and hot sex began, right on the wash basin of this toilet. It was great. Hwa, older brother. What do you think? Maybe she was able to satisfy herself on her own. The vile scum began to suspect something. I would like to say no. But she is there for more than 30 minutes. How she was able to restrain herself for so long, said Hua. At this time, they continued to actively have passionate sex. The wash basin cabinet was perfect for this, the perfect height for deep penetration. After some time, she began to feel much better. And I remembered what Jan Ming told her. I wouldn't drink it in your place. So it means a drug poured me. This guy go. I will get to you. Current, and put yourself in order so that no one suspects us. She corrected her dress, and Jan Ming put herself in order. Sunji, she said, we are all similar, aren't it? We all have needs. When we go out, pretend to have happened nothing, she asked. Okay, I agreed to Yan Ming. Now it excites you? Am I your toy? He thought. This was your first time, right? I can say I underestimated you, she said playfully. I can say the same thing to you. We are all similar. John Ming decided to answer her with words. In my opinion, he did well. When everything was in order, John Ming opened the door and left the toilet. You are too. So much time. What did you do there? In surprise, the jaws almost hit them. Sorry. I felt bad. I was very sick after red wine and my boyfriend took care of me all this time. She said, Oh, is it really true? The Four Eyes was surprised. He in one gulp drank his wine and realized that today he was left without sex. I think John Ming would be grateful to him for such a surprise. Forgive us, Sunji. We got things, so we will leave you first. Two bastards realized that they screwed up and decided to leave the quiet.
Sunji, are they already left? Kuzin finally woke up. Yes, they all left will come from here too, suggested by Sunji.
Oh, why are you still here? Kuzina was surprised when I saw John Mina. This is not because you want Sunji and I would take you home, right? She continued to be indignant. I think you understand that she overslept all the most interesting and offered to grumble. I'm leaving right now. I'm already tired of it. Jan Li called him here so that he was their protection, and now she curses at him. Lily, your cousin is very interesting, Sunji mysteriously said. You are joking, he. Interesting? I asked Jan. I wonder if he has a girl, asked Sunji. How does someone dare to be so arrogant? I will break his damn legs. John Ming opened the door to the corridor, and there was his acquaintance, and something muttered. Is this the older brother of Bao, whom he met in prison? Was surprised by John Min. And Ming caught up with him in the corridor and called, Brother Bao, really you? What a coincidence. Brother Bao, what are you doing here? I asked Yan. Brother Yang, glad you see. Where are you going so evil? I asked Yang. Well, after I was released from prison, I started working here as a guard. The waiter told me that someone was creating riots and I'm going there to check this, Bao said. Let's go there together. With your support, I am not afraid of anything. Okay. Brother Bao, let's go, and now take my hand. If you suddenly see us so, they might think that we meet. Well, you understand. Ah, this is he. Again. Passing a little along the corridor, they saw familiar physiognomy. Jan Ming immediately recognized him. Something is wrong. Brother Yang, do you know him? Asked Bao. Yes, I met this bitch just recently, I said Yang. I give him good kicks before I throw him out into the street. Bao was ready to rush into battle. Wait, good kicks. Isn't it too simple to let him go? Said Yan Min. So what? What is your plan to punish him? Asked Bao. Brother Bao, why don't you take advantage of my plan? And he shared an interesting idea with him. Brother Yang, this is a rather interesting and sinister plan. Bao was surprised. Oh, you are a fucking freak. Did you dare to pick up my girlfriend? Do you want death? Bao approached with others. Who are you? The bespectacled man was surprised. I am the main guard in this institution, and she is my girlfriend, Bao said strictly. I apologize. I was terribly mistaken. I'm sorry. I'll leave, sir, right now. Four Eyes began to stutter and muttered something under his breath. Oh, you are a freak. Are you trying to escape after you pressed my girlfriend? Do you pretend that I don't exist? Bao was indignant. Then in your opinion, we must solve this. I asked a bespectacled room. How? First, let's go to my office, Bao said strictly. Do you know what the sage said? Eyes behind the eye, tooth for a tooth. You are a man and you wanted to rape my girl. What do you think you should have? You have to bring a woman, so that she raped me? Asked a bespectacled man. A woman? Dream. Bao smiled slyly. Heh, Dulon. He is yours. Help him feel good, okay? Bao called his acquaintance. Ah, this cute boy is really charming, said a strong guy named Dulon. Who are you? Leave me alone. No, do not touch me. The screams of an indignant bespectacle from behind the cabinet door continued to break out. How was it? Did you like it? And Bao Punnel under the ass. No. Flooded with tears and sobbed a glass. That is, yes. I liked it, said the bespectacled room. So you were good, right? Then how about one more time? Asked Bao. At that moment, someone knocked on the cabinet door. What's the matter? Asked Bao. Brother Bao, your friend came to see you. A voice sounded from behind the door. Friend? Who? This is Yan Min, Brother Yang. Young Mi went into the office. Brother Bao, are you busy? He asked. Brother Yang, long time no see. No, I'm not busy. Just one asshole climbed to my girlfriend, I think to drown him in the river. Bao answered. Yan Min, save me. Began to ask for a bespectacle. Hey, who allowed you to call the name of his brother Jan? Bao kicked him under the ass. Are you not a vice president of Gu? Why are you here? Asked Yan Ming. Senior, elder brother Yang, save me. I don't want to die. The bespectacled man snapped. To die. Brother Bao, let go of the vice president Gu. He is a friend of my girlfriend, said Yang. Brother Yang, you and I live according to the same concepts. You must understand that we care about reputation more than anything else, Bao said. This shit is not how it does not apply to you. If you want to let him go, there should be a significant reason for this, Bao said. Jan looked at this miserable jerk and did not even know what to say. He is my subordinate, said Yan Ming. True. Right. I am a subordinate to the older brother of Yan, the elder brother Bao. For the reputation of the older brother Yan, please let me go, whimpered the Four Eyes. Is this true? Why didn't you say this before? Bao asked strictly. I was afraid to deliver problems to Yan's older brother. I was too scared to say something. Whimpering an otter. Well, okay. I will save your life, but only because of the reputation of my brother Yan. You better remember this. You are one of the people of my brother John. I will not touch you, although I really want it, Bao said. But if the day comes when you are no longer needed by brother John, it will be the day of your death, Bao said strictly. Yes. I am the subordinate of my older brother, the rest of my life. Don't worry. I will no longer dare to do anything that can bring problems to her elder brother Yan. Vice President Giyu began to bow low and floor. Okay, but do not forget that I wrote down your words. The elder brother Yang covered you this time. Until I show anyone this record, it can also be used to control you, Bao said sternly. If you do anything else that will denigrate the name of his brother Yan in the future, I will publish this entry on the internet, and the whole city will see her. Bao said, I won't laugh. I will not laugh. Vice President Giyu began to bow low on the floor. Okay, that's enough. Lost, you insult me with your presence. I will catch up with my brother Jan, Bao said sternly. Brother Yang, you are really very insidious. This guy is now very grateful to you. Now he will not dare to argue with you in the future. Bao said, It's all thanks to your help, Brother Bao, said John Ming.